This is Francis from Easel. Well, welcome to the final part of our Easel Carve tutorial video. In this one, I'm going to go through setting up the Carve on my machine. For this video, I've got my Your Home 3018 here to the right of me. As I'm moving through this process, you may hear it move a little bit. And then at the end of the video, there'll be footage of the machine as I'm setting it up. And then I'll be voicing over that, so you can certainly take a look at that. And then that'll kind of match up to the instructions here in this part of the video. So we're going to start with the design that we had, that we made in the first 3 videos that we did. Links to those will be in the description. The first thing I'm going to do is change the material type because I don't have hard maple, so I'm going to change it to, let's see if I can find it, 2-color HDPE, because that's what I have on hand. And I'll change that, it's black and yellow. The material dimension is the same. I still have a 6x6 piece. And I will say at this point, if you have different material, different scrap material, you can adjust the size of this project to fit whatever scrap material you might have. It doesn't have to be 6x6. It can be 4x4. It can be 3x3, whatever's easiest. Next, now that I've set my material up, I am going to change the bit. I'm going to be using a 30-degree engraving bit for this. But to change the bit, simply click up in this window where it says bit. You'll see it's highlighted blue, and then you'll get a list of bits that are available to you. I would recommend starting with a straight cut end mill in this situation, but I only have 30-degree V-bits currently, so that's the one that I'm going to use in this situation. You can see our Carve didn't change too much. But certainly that would be what I'm going to use in this situation. So now we're ready to start setting up the Carve or that process. The first thing we'll do is click this green Carve button. If for whatever reason the Carve button is blue, that means that your machine is not connected to Easel. And that could be for a number of reasons. It could be that you need to select the COM port, or you need to go through the machine profile setup. There's quite a few different reasons that the machine might not be connecting. We'll have a support article listed in the description. If you click on that, it will take you to some of the more common reasons your machine might not be connecting, and you can troubleshoot that and then return to this video to kind of get back on track. So what we'll do is I'm going to click the Pro Carve button here. The first thing it's going to ask me is to measure my material and confirm that it's the dimensions that I say, but also that the thickness is correct, and most importantly that the thickness is correct. You'll see here, this is the kind of setup instructions, and it'll kind of guide you through. And then on the right-hand side, there's these jog machine controls, which will become important later in the kind of Carve setup. You can see here that the I've got Y plus and minus, X plus and minus, and then Z up and down, and then the interval. And so in this here allows us to change the kind of interval at which it jogs. So if I do it here, my X and Y will jog an inch at a time. If I do it here, it'll be 1/10 of an inch, and so on, kind of down to more minimal movements at a time. I'm going to keep it on 1/10 of an inch for now, and the same can be done for the Z-axis. You can also set a custom XY jog for the machine. So if I wanted to, I could set 2, and that would set the custom. If you do set a custom and you want to change it back to, say, 1/10 of an inch, you'll just want to make sure that you click into that, because it'll be custom until you click back into the interval. If you're trying to wonder, or you're wondering how do I jog my machine outside of the Carve setup, right next to the Carve button, there's a green button with 4 arrows. If you click on that, you'll see very similar controls there. So we'll go back to the Carve menu. I've measured my material thickness, so I can confirm that. Next, you'll be asked to confirm that your material is clamped down. Looking at it, it's secure, so I'll say my material is secure. It'll ask you if you want to confirm the bit that you're using. In this case, I've changed it to a 30-degree V-bit. I can also click here and change it if I want to make a last-minute change. So I'll confirm my bit size. And this is kind of the most important step for setting up your machine. And setting up your Carve. This is confirming work 0. And work 0 is the start position for your Carve. This is where the Carve will start from. And in Easel, the start position is defaulted to the front left corner of your material. And to kind of help visualize that, I'm going to exit out of the Carve setup here, and we can see my design. And in the right-hand corner here, if I click on Simulate, that will simulate the toolpath that my bit is going to run, and I can kind of visualize that by pressing play. And we can see that this red line starts right in the corner of my design. And if you look at the grid here, it's the 0, 0. So often it's called the XY 0 point. And it'll start, and then if we kind of scan all the way to the end here, you'll see that it finishes in that same position. So it'll start in that 0, 0 point, move out from there, and then at the end return to that 0, 0 point. And Easel will always default that to the front left corner of your material. So moving back to the Carve menu, I'll confirm the things that we've already kind of moved through, and it'll ask you to confirm your work 0. So in this case, I'm going to set my XY 0 using these jog controls. So you'll jog your bit to the front left corner of your material, and you can use these jog controls. You can adjust the interval, all of those things. And then what you're looking for is for that bit to be right here in the front left corner of the material. Then, before you confirm work 0, in this instance, I'm going to also set my Z0, which is the starting position for my bit, height-wise. So to do that, you'll bring it to that front left corner and then jog the bit down until it's just barely above the material. And I think the best way to do that, and I'll demonstrate this in the second half of this video, is by using a piece of paper, and you'll bring your bit down, and kind of once that paper is caught, then you know that it's in the right position. Alternatively, if you have a Z probe, before you get to the confirm work 0 section, you'll confirm your bit, and then it'll ask you if you want to Z probe the machine, and that will set your Z height for you using a probe, and then you would just set your XY0 second. Once you've confirmed your work 0, once everything's in position, you'll select Use New Position, and that will set the position for your Carve and the start of your Carve. Then you're kind of into the final step here, which is almost ready to cut. You'll raise your bit, and this will raise it slightly off of the 0 position that you set. You'll then turn on your spindle, confirm that your spindle is on, and press Carve. And so from here, your machine will start out from the 0, 0 point, move out, do the Carve, return to the 0, 0 point, and then stop. And to visualize what that stop will look like, once it's complete, you'll get this window here, and it'll ask you how the Carve went, and give you some options for jogging the machine. And that's pretty much how you set up a Carve in Easel. So now we're going to transition to the machine footage, and again, I'll be talking over that and talking about the steps as I do them. Here we are back in the Carve setup. I'm going to start by selecting the green Carve button here in the upper right hand corner. The first thing it's going to ask us is to measure the material. I measured mine a little bit ahead of time, and it is exactly 1/4 of an inch, so I'm going to change that there and confirm my material thickness. Next, I'm going to confirm that my material is clamped down nice and secure. You can see the clamp in the upper right-hand corner and the back left-hand corner behind the spindle. I'll confirm that my material is secure. I'll confirm my bit. In this case, I am using a 30-degree V-bit, so I will confirm that. And now it's time to set the work 0 position. So in this case, what I'm going to do is, it's pretty close, but not quite. So I'll jog it over on the x-axis, back on the y-axis a little bit, and then come down until it's pretty close, and then I'll change the interval for my jog, and then I'm going to get my piece of paper. I have mine right here. I'm going to slide it in between my material and my bit, and then I will, since the interval is down, I'll jog it down slightly, test, see if it's catching. Not quite yet. Still pretty loose. come down a little bit more. There, you can see that it's holding my piece of paper in place. So now I'll confirm my new position. Now that my new position is confirmed, the first thing Easel is going to have me do is raise the bit off the work surface a bit. So I'll do that. It'll raise my bit. I'll steal the piece of paper back, get it out of the way. And then I'm going to turn the spindle on. It might get a little loud. Now that the spindle's on, I can confirm that it's on, and then I'll select Carve. And we can watch it go through the first couple of Carve motions here. And you can hear it carving. And I'm going to stop it here. And you can see that the machine is now returning to my work 0 position, and the z-axis is at the height that it was raised after we set that position.
To learn more, head over to easel.com.